But, sometimes we do say things aren't fair, and I probably hear it from my son more than it comes out of my mouth, because I'm very grateful now that I get to live a healthy, long life now rather than how I was living before and feeling like rubbish all the time.
Welcome to the Healthy Celiac Show. I'm your host, Belinda Whelan from belindawhelan.com, and here you will learn to live your very best life with celiac disease. So we are going to be talking all about health-related topics because you, my friend, are more than just a woman with celiac disease. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss an episode, and welcome to the show.
Now, living with celiac disease can sometimes feel like it's a little bit unfair, right? It feels like we've been given a hard deal. We've been given, the rough side of the deal. We've been handed something that we never asked for, we never brought on intentionally. It's just something that happened to us, and we feel like, we're ripped off. It feels like it sucks, and sometimes we just need to have a whinge. And I just want you to know that that is okay. And things happen, and, things happen to us at times in our lives where we least expect it. And we might just have a moment where we go, man, this sucks. I hate having celiac disease. I hate having to eat gluten-free. And I want to talk about that with you guys today, because it is okay to feel like this, but it's how we cope with it and how we deal with it. Now, what made me want to record this episode basically was last night was Halloween here in Australia, and we don't celebrate Halloween as much as I know many other countries do, such as America. But my eldest daughter, she's 14, for the last, maybe 4 or 5 years now, she's gone trick-or-treating. And last night she wanted to take my 4-year-old son with her, so her little brother. She wanted to take him along, and I wasn't too keen on it because he has got non-celiac gluten sensitivity. So he, like us, can't eat any gluten. And I thought, oh man, this is just going to set the poor little guy up for disappointment, because he's not going to be able to really eat much of the lollies that gets handed out to him, or candy as you may call it. So lo and behold, he begged and he begged and he begged to let his sister take him. And I said, okay. So I caved, and they went along, and he came back and he had the smallest little bag of treats, and it was so cute. And he pulled them out and he showed me. And I was like, oh, wow, look what you got me. And his sister went, oh, wow, is that all you got? And I was like, no, this is good. This is good. And she said to me, his sister said to me, yeah, every house that he went up to, Mum, he said, is that gluten-free? And people looked at him like he had 2 heads. They didn't really know what he was talking about. A couple of people said, yes, it's gluten-free. A couple of people said, oh, I don't know. Sorry, buddy. And, he didn't have great experience. And some people just flat out said, no, it's not gluten-free. So he didn't take it, which I thought was really sweet of him. And he came home and he probably had maybe 7 different things. And I reckon there was maybe 4 of those that he could eat. So there was a little pack of Skittles, which are fine. There was a brand called Trolley, which are like a gummy lolly here in Australia. Don't know where else they're available, but here they're safe and they're gluten-free. So he was able to have that. There was a Chubba Chup in there that was gluten-free as well. And there was another lolly that was an eyeball, and it had the may contain statements on it, and it didn't have wheat or gluten written on it. So that one was fine. So he had a number of items in his little haul that he was able to eat. And that was good. So I was happy. I mean, not that we let him have too many treats, but it was good that he got to have that experience, and there were some items in there that he was able to eat. But my contingency plan was that if he'd got some things that we had no idea what they were, or, what the labeling was or anything like that, I was just going to do him a little trade. So I knew that he was going to get home quite late, that he wouldn't be eating any of the lollies before going to bed. And I knew that it would give me the opportunity to swap them out the next day. So today, if need be. But as it turned out, I feel like, he got enough things that was enough for the experience. However, there was that backup plan. So instead of him whinging and saying, it's not fair, I didn't get anything, he was fine about it. But I think that if he was a bit older, he probably would have been looking at his haul compared to his big sister's, which was ridiculous. And I'm not looking forward to her eating all of those. But I think as kids get older, these are the things that they get exposed to as well, that they realize things aren't fair. And for us with celiac disease, we get these different experiences. We get it. If you grew up with celiac disease from a very young age, and you went through that experience with Halloween, I'm sure you've got very similar experiences. For me personally, I didn't have the Halloween experience as a kid, so I don't understand it. So I wasn't even really prepared for it. I didn't know how it was going to pan out with him, but he reacted really well. But I can understand that could have been a major disappointment for him, but he did handle it really, really well, and I was really proud of him. So that was really good. But, sometimes we do say things aren't fair, and I probably hear it from my son more than it comes out of my mouth, because I'm very grateful now that I get to live a healthy, long life now rather than how I was living before and feeling like rubbish all the time. But, sometimes I still get a little bit upset. You go to a wedding and you're excluded, or, you've told the bride and groom that you've got celiac disease and there's absolutely nothing there for you to eat. So it's about having backup plans in place, and I actually discuss that in depth in my course, Ultimate Celiac System, and talk about ways to overcome that as well. So it is definitely important to have backup plans, and know that when you do get disappointed and you feel like you've been let down, that it's not usually personal. It's just one of those things that happens, and we do need to pick ourselves up and we do need to move on. But I just want you to know that it is normal if you're feeling this way and you're feeling left out and you're feeling like life is a little unfair, then it's okay to have those emotions. It's okay to have those feelings. You're human, you're part of this world, and you're important. And it's not just about everybody else. It is about you as well. So it is nice to feel included. And I can't even explain to you how much I get that. Like, when I'm included and people make me feel important, it just blows my mind. Recently, I don't know if I talked about it on a podcast now, I can't even remember, or if it was just talked about online. But we are currently renovating our kitchen, and our friends had seen some photos that we'd put online that we didn't have a kitchen, and they rocked up at our house. They had cooked us a full lamb roast, and they had made sure that everything was perfectly safe for me. They'd made sure that the gravy was safe. They'd cooked it all separately from everything else in their kitchen, and, completely, they're very careful. He's a chef and they've got a bakery business, so they are very on top of it and they know exactly what they've got to do for me. And it was so nice for them to rock up with a meal and just be, here you go, guys, we knew you didn't have a kitchen, and they just get it. So, you have friends like that, and then you have other friends that just don't understand. So it's about probably focusing on the people and the things that are wonderful in our life when we are living with celiac disease, and being grateful for those moments and being grateful for those people and those things that happen to us in our life. But it's also about knowing that when things hit you out of the blue and things are, unexpected, and you do feel that it is unfair, that, it is okay. Please do feel that it is okay. But I want you to see that, it is a positive that you do have celiac disease. There are many, many people that are living with celiac disease and they don't know it. They don't have a diagnosis. So I personally feel that we are the lucky ones. We are the ones that came across that amazing person that finally diagnosed us and gave us the answer to our problems. We were told to eat gluten-free. We were told what we had to do to live with celiac disease. And we definitely, my friend, are the lucky ones, because we have the chance to live our best life living gluten-free. And I truly, truly believe that. And I really want you to see that for yourself as well. So focus on the positive, focus on the good, see what you can do with the outcome that you've got, and focus on that. And then when you get these little slaps in the face where things are unexpected and things come to you that you just feel, This is tough, this is hard. Hold that emotion, hold on to it, deal with it, and then move on, because it's not worth holding on to these things. And I personally feel that the more we focus on the negative, the more our life sucks. The more we focus on the positive, the more our life is amazing. So always try and focus on the positive outcome, try and focus on the best that you can. And I've talked about this before, and it's about removing yourself from people if they aren't, being positive towards you and loving towards you. If they're not treating you the way that you need to be treated, sometimes we need to remove ourselves from those people. So won't go into that too deeply. That's more how I work with my one-on-one clients and helping people with relationships as well. But there is a way to step away from people, and sometimes it has to be done even when it's really close friends, or whether it's relationships or even family members. So it's always about putting yourself first, your health, and making sure that you are happy. So guys, please enjoy the week. Have a positive one. If something happens that gets, kind of out of the blue, or you get one of those little slaps in the face where you go, man, this sucks. I hate living with celiac disease. I hate eating gluten-free. Just remember this episode, and just remember that it's okay to feel that way. It really is okay. So take it on board, move on from it, and live a long, healthy life, because that's the best thing that we can do for ourselves. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye. If you enjoyed this episode, head to belindawhelan.com to get yourself a free copy of my exclusive ebook, 11 Mistakes People Make Going Gluten-Free Living with Celiac Disease.